Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video today, we're going to be discussing specifically the IR-1, CR-1 visa categories, aka the immigrant visa, the classic immigrant visa categories for those who are married to an American citizen and they are of Burmese or Myanmar nationality. So, the way to look at this process overall is to sort of look at it from the beginning and to see it in sort of a multi-phase process. Initially, you're going to be dealing with the Department of Homeland Security's United States Citizenship and Immigration Service. They're going to go ahead and adjudicate the underlying petition for immigrant benefits. Thereafter, assuming approval of the underlying case, and they can approve, deny, or they can ask for more evidence. There's a whole process associated specifically with that. Assuming approval, the case is going to move over to the National Visa Center, which is under the auspices of the Department of State, but it's based in the United States. That agency is going to go ahead and use, they kind of put the thing under sort of a pre-review and a document gathering phase. So various documents are going to need to be gathered and remitted to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center is then going to review those documents, and assuming they meet sort of the minimum standards that they want to see with respect to a case being processed from the country concerned, they're going to then go ahead and move the case over to the relevant U.S. Embassy or consulate abroad, specifically the immigrant visa unit within that embassy or consulate. And in this situation, for the purposes of this video, we're talking about the U.S. Embassy in Yangon, Myanmar. They're going to move it over there, and they're going to go ahead and schedule an interview. The reason NVC takes such a, meticulous approach to document gathering, document review with respect to cases like this is they have sort of, I won't say a pre-adjudicatory function, but they have sort of a pre-review function wherein they go ahead and review the underlying case, make sure all the broad strokes are sort of sussed out, all the main things that they're looking for there, and then they go ahead and set an interview date. And once an interview date is set, then it's up to the consular officer to go ahead and process the case further. Again, the broad strokes are sort of all in place, or more specifically, if there are deficiencies within the case, there's plenty of time to see those, and the consular officer sort of has knowledge going into the interview that, these are the areas where they're going to maybe need some more information. At the point at which the case is over in the U.S. Embassy in Yangon, they're going to have to undertake a visa interview. There's various things that have to be undertaken prior to that interview, such as a medical exam, etc. And once the interview happens, the consular officer has the discretion to either approve the case at interview, deny the case at interview, presuming there's some sort of legal ground of inadmissibility present, for issues, for information involving legal grounds of inadmissibility specifically, and what are called I-601 waivers. I strongly recommend checking out another video on this channel. But assuming that there's not either of those, there's the final thing that can happen, or another thing that can happen, is what's called a 221G, request for further documentation. We have another video on this channel specifically regarding 221Gs. This is basically when the consulate is requesting, or the consular officer is requesting further documentation in order to make a final determination with respect to the underlying visa application. In most cases, presumably, once the documentation inquiry has been fulfilled, or once the request has been submitted and the consular officer has been satisfied, in most cases, the visa is going to see approval fairly soon thereafter. And as soon as the visa is ultimately issued, there's going to be an issue date and an expiration date on the underlying visa, and basically the foreign national spouse will be able to leave for the United States as soon as their visa is issued.